You look at so immediate a future and say, have I made money in 3 months? Look at the guys who put money in all other PSU banks for the last 5 years, 10 years, 20 years. What has happened to these banks? Is there a future? SBI, I think, is a kind of an outlier for the time being. And I'm saying honestly saying it's an outlier because it pales everybody into comparison as to what they're doing. They got subsidiaries, they got something right. They're the government banker. So I think it's unfair to compare them with a PNB or a Bank of Baroda because SBI traditionally has been a government's banker. They used to hold the treasury chest for the government in all the district headquarters. So they have a very big advantage in where SBI comes from and the size, scale, and everything put together. So I think SBI perhaps, yes, an outlier, but PSU banks, you got to be kidding me. That's why I keep asking everybody, and I've asked this 100 times. Anybody asked me the question, I said, do you have an account with them or will you open a new account with these banks? And if you're not going to open the account with these banks or deal with them, do they have a future? I guess not. They will not have a future. They are good trading bets. They go up and down. But do they have a future? I do not think they have a future at all because the talent pool, what they are working with, is quite inferior to the private sector at this point of time. If you're taking a good quality manager takes a job, let's take I'm a corporate banker. Why would I go to a bank which has no stock option, nothing, give me a salary, puts me into the middle of nowhere as a probationary officer while I can sit in Mumbai or Delhi with my family in an Axis Bank or HDFC Bank? Think about it. So if you can't get talent, you can't get an organization. So my guess is use for trading, but never invest in it. For God's sake, there is no future. I keep reminding you, go back to BSNL, MTNL, what they were at one time and what they are today, you'll get the answer.
So I think I have been talking about that right from September 2021 itself, that 2020 is all about value. Okay, so value will outperform growth stocks globally, and the trend has already started. And PSU banks qualify in that value basket. Okay, obviously in last many months, even some of the private sector banks also have corrected a lot. They also can qualify, but on relative basis, okay, I still believe. If I have to take a next 3 to 5 year horizon, not even slightly longer horizon, I think PSU banks have potential to outperform private sector bank with a substantial margin. Okay, and you have to identify the leaders in that category. So we are more constructive from the value thesis. They're grossly under-owned, under-researched stocks. Okay, and from the biggest worry on the street is right about the FI exposure and global volatility. So people tend to be avoiding the FI over-owned stocks, and all the private banks are grossly over-owned by most of the FIs. Okay, and that is another area of worry, not from the valuation point of view or the fundamental data's point of view, but it is more from the demand-supply issue. Okay, when supply is significantly high or expected supply is supposed to be high, the perception changes, and needs to be very cautious about that.